Welcome to the Bachelor Breakdown, where we break down the game of life.
Especially the games that men play.
I'm your girl, Erica.
I'm Ashley. Let's break it down.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bachelor Breakdown.
Welcome. Hey, girl.
I am happy to announce that I finally feel back in the swing of things. My kids are back in school. My life has opened up a little bit. I finally feel like I'm getting back into a flow. I told a friend the other day, I'm like, I think school was like invented for moms because if we had to stay at home with our kids all day, I just don't know. It's like crazy town.
I couldn't do the women that I hear do homeschooling.
Oh,
And I was like, how do you do that?
and
I
my
couldn't.
son is like, can you
couldn't.
homeschool? Can I be homeschooled? And I'm like, fuck no.
You're like,
You- no.
girl, I have 2 cats and they're at the kennel. I haven't picked them up yet. So because I'm like, I need to do stuff because Tonic is active. So I'm like, let me just one more day, they'll be fine. Let me get stuff done. So I can only imagine having little humans.
I feel
So,
you. I do the same thing.
props
with
to
these.
all the parents.
It's just too much. Sometimes
It's
it's
a
like
lot. It seems
not
like it.
not too much on your girl. Okay, not too
Yeah.
much. I had a friend that was like, and she's a new friend, and
Mhm.
she's a mom, and our kids go to the same school, so she
Oh,
was
cute.
like, next year you're gonna have to come with us. Like once the kids go back to school, we go down to the Omni for like a pool day. Like the moms go to like basically celebrate. The kids go.
Oh my God, I
back to
love
school.
that.
And I'm like, yes, please sign me up. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God,
Yes,
how
please sign me up. That's so
cute.
cute, right? That's so cute.
But that's the thing is, my friend just had a little girl on her own. And she said the
Aw.
only thing keeping her sane, Ashley, is her mom group.
Yeah.
And she goes,
Yeah.
that's like her new, because she moved to a new city. So she's like, that's her new bestie. So it's like, that's another episode. Keeping strong female relationships. That's so important.
It's so important because I feel
So
like
important.
I can live without a man, like without a romantic partner. I could
Mhm.
not live without my girlfriends.
Oh, I couldn't either.
I could not do this
I
life.
couldn't.
And it just speaks to like the
Not
sense of like
possible.
community and
Mhm.
connection and relationship and how you can have love and
Mhm.
connection and relationship and meaningful relationships
Yeah.
and they not be romantic.
Yes. They not be-
Speaking of,
Yes.
you know how
Yes.
like women think that and this is no shade, this is no judgment, this is no shame, but
Mhm.
like women think that they can only have relationship connection, deep meaning in life
Mhm.
through a romantic partner.
Yes.
Can we talk
Mhm.
about J-Lo?
Oh, Jenny
Just
from
a
the block.
moment of silence for J-Lo.
I feel bad for her. I'm just like, you know what? This is my thing. I am like, I love love, right? I love love.
Love.
I think it's amazing. That's why I love a good rom-com, right? Is that what you call it? Yeah, rom-com.
Yeah.
I love a good rom-com.
Yeah.
Love a good love story. That's why I watch
Yeah.
Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice at least once a week. You know, I'm looking for my Mr. Darcy. But even though I want my Mr. Darcy, I know not everyone is going to be that, which is why I haven't dated for several years because I'm waiting, right? J-Lo, I think, is one who is a helpless romantic. I think she loves love, and I love her for that. And I love that she seems very optimistic about it. But I think that she is one that should probably just wait.
I wonder if she doesn't have like good girlfriends.
I don't know, because I'm like, J-Lo, you're fabulous. Like, just wait a second. You don't have to rush. And why rush into marriage? Why not just like date and have fun?
Yeah, date and have fun. But I'm wondering, like, it makes me really wonder because I feel like women who have solid relationships, like good girlfriends,
yes, that is
like a
true.
community of people, like the board of directors, as I like to call them in my life, like that I run things through.
Am I on the board, Ashley?
You are on the board, honey. Yes, you are on the board. But like stuff that I like, people that I not filter things through, but like I trust their opinion.
Kind of just bounce opinions
Bounce
off of.
things, bounce ideas off. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know like how you're showing up 100% of the time. Like I'm self-aware, but some of the things I'm like, am I
Yeah.
crazy? Like, does this
Oh
make
yeah.
sense? Am I being too harsh? Like even with like guys
Yeah.
that I've like talked to or like dated in the past,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
I'll run things through you guys, and I'm like, is this normal? Like,
Yeah. Does
am I
this make sense?
crazy
Does
for
that?
this? Like feeling this way? Like you have to have women that you trust, people, and not even women. Like you can have good guy friends that you trust to run
100%.
things by and like solicit their opinions because
Mm-hmm.
you know they're going to be honest and
Mm-hmm.
loving with you,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if she doesn't have those like good
Makes me
core
wonder.
relationships that she can, help
She
with,
can't
that go
because
like go to for help or guidance. I just because you
yeah.
would think like, now
Mm-hmm.
we all know this play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our
Yeah.
play of the month and what we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about today is spinning the block. Like
Mm-hmm.
going back to an old relationship that didn't work out in the first time, and then you go back to it because you're older, you think you're wiser,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you think
Mm-hmm.
you can enter into it and it'd be different this time. I at my
Yeah.
big age, and I'm not even I'm not as old as J Lo, but I know going back
Mm-mm.
to something that didn't work out the first time, there was a reason, and
There's a
we
reason.
gonna leave that in the past. But
Leave it.
I feel like our generation, like, and
Mm-hmm.
the ones that came before us, they were taught, like, did you ever hear that toxic ass saying of,
Hmm.
if you let something go and it comes back to you, then it was meant to be? That shit messed me
Yeah.
up for a really
Yeah.
long
But
time.
but think about it. You might try to kill roaches in your house. They might still keep coming back. That doesn't mean they were meant to
Meant to
be.
be, like,
I mean,
just because you
no.
let something go and it came back don't mean it's not boomerang. We're not throwing a
No.
boomerang. We don't want, like, some things
No.
need to be left in the past. Like everything that comes back isn't coming back because it has good intentions or it's better.
Mm-mm.
Maybe like they found out that, oh shit, like you were the best thing that happened to me, and
Yep.
I need
And
like,
they might want to come back. Don't let them come back.
and
Don't.
they might want to come back in the same horrible, dysfunctional, toxic
Mhm.
ways, and you
Mhm.
think that they've changed because you've been
You've
conditioned
already
to
set a
believe
pattern though with
that
that
it's true
individual.
love and it's coming
Mhm.
back, and it's like, no,
No.
no, thank
Mm-mm.
you. Like
No.
leave that shit in the
The
past. Like,
past.
how do you feel about that?
No, I don't believe in that at all. I truly believe, and I, like my last relationship was with someone who's an outstanding guy, best guy. I mean, we're not friends because he's in a relationship that he's very happy with, so
Mhm.
we're respectful. But like, I needed something another day for something, and I reached out, and he's like, "Cool, I got it for you." Or if he needs something, I'd be like, "Cool, I got it for you." Like, awesome dude.
Yeah,
But guess
friends.
what? I'm not going back.
Mm.
No matter, you know what I mean? I have nothing bad to say about him, but it didn't work for a reason.
Right.
So I'm not going back there. I don't believe in going back. I believe that we meet people for a reason and for a season,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to learn something in that moment, and then we move on.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
There's no need in going back because to me, going back is just rewriting the past. I don't need that.
No, I don't need to go back and
It
fix
doesn't
it.
serve either party.
No.
So I feel like you're supposed to keep moving. And the thing is that there's that new movie that's coming out with Blake Lively
Mhm.
and I can't remember the name of it. But I in this movie, there's been a lot of talk. I guess the woman suffered from domestic abuse in it.
Mm.
And I don't know, I haven't read the book or seen it. But apparently, I think in the end, she stays. I could be wrong with this. A lot of people are like upset about, like, should you stay, like domestic violence and this
Oh,
and that.
yeah.
And they're trying to portray the male character in this as someone really loving. And that's why she stayed. And they're trying to express and explain why women stay
Mhm.
because there's true love there, even though there's a lot of pain
Mm.
there. And so for me, I think for a lot of women, it's about understanding you can still love someone, but you can choose yourself and choose something better for yourself and try to
Right.
break this cycle, no matter if there is a love there, because apparently there is a love there. But it's about moving forward and trying to create a new habit, a new pattern for yourself
Right.
so that you can start to implement that. Because if you go back, you're just continuing that pattern.
Right.
And so if you leave this person, unfortunately, you'll probably continue that same pattern with someone that's similar. So it's about
Right.
breaking that pattern completely, being with yourself for a little bit, and then when you know you're ready, you feel ready, move on.
Yeah.
I think someone like a J-Lo, I feel like she tends to probably find the same type of individual,
Mhm.
and it's not serving her because she's still reliving that same pattern,
Right.
which is why I think it's always good to take a moment, breathe, really date yourself, spend
Well, yeah,
time with those that you love,
and sit
you
with
know?
yourself, because I feel like people don't know how to sit with themselves, like you were
They
just like
don't.
you were describing, like, take a break, try to break that pattern so that
Mhm,
you engage differently and you're
mhm,
in a different energy and you attract something different, right? Because
100%.
when we move through life just kinda, like, filtering ourselves
Yeah,
through one experience or one person, we keep attracting that same experience and that same person.
yeah,
But it's so uncomfortable to sit with yourself and to sit with your feelings and to say, how did I contribute to where I am today?" And, like, figure
yeah,
out what it is about yourself that keeps
mhm,
attracting the same situation or the same lesson. I literally had this same experience because like, maybe,
mhm,
like, 2 weeks ago,
mhm,
because although I'm not in a toxic relationship, I am in a
mhm.
toxic work environment right now. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh my
That's even
goodness."
worse. I mean, well,
Even
not
worse.
worse, but
Well,
it's still bad. I mean,
it's
it's
bad, and I'm
horrible.
like, how am I in this situation? Like, I've done all this work.
Yeah.
I'm aware of, like, my patterns, but, like,
Yes.
how did I get find myself back into this same theme? It's like the
Mhm.
same theme. We have
Yeah,
these themes in our
yeah.
life, and they play out in different
It's
scenarios and
funny you
environments.
said that. Yes.
But I'm not in a toxic relationship, but I'm in a
Mhm.
toxic work environment. I'm like, "Oh, shit.
Yes.
What is it about
Yes.
me that I where do I resonate that I keep attracting people that, 1, are
Yes.
crazy, but 2, like, want me to fix them?"
Yes. I
I'm
feel like I'm a magnet for needy. Oh
I
gosh.
attract I hate to say it, Lord.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say it because 'cause I'm not gonna put it out there. But what I was attracting was chaos. And, like,
Oh.
people who were chaotic and need fixing and want me to fix
Mhm.
them and do that labor for
Mhm.
them, and I'm like, no,
Mhm.
no, thank you.
No.
I'm not there anymore.
You're like, "I'm tired."
I don't wanna resonate there anymore, so what
Uh-uh.
is it about me that I need to, like, clear and process and sit with so that I no longer call these people in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, it's the same thing with, like, relationships and romantic relationships, and if you
Mhm.
don't take the time after a breakup to really process and, work through what you need to work through so that you elevate and attract something different, then
You'll
you will
just
keep
keep
attracting the same people, and I think we all knew. I think we all knew when Ben and J.Lo got back together, like,
Mhm.
"Hmm."
You know, what was so obvious with the Ben and J-Lo thing is, um, not to judge because like I said, I'm only someone looking out. I've never
Right,
had
right,
a
right,
conversation with either of them. I don't know anything, right?
right.
But from someone looking out, it just looked like Ben was someone who was dealing with his own struggles.
Mhm, mhm,
And that is a sign that he is not ready for a partner. I truly believe we need to lean on friends and family when we're going through things, but
mhm.
you don't lean on a partner.
No,
A partner cannot fix you. That is work that you have to do solo.
right.
And Ben had not done the work.
No, and
And
neither had J.Lo.
J-Lo had just gotten out of a relationship where I'm assuming it appeared that A-Rod, was it A-Rod?
Mhm,
Had
mhm.
cheated on her. So that was something that was emotional and embarrassing. And the last thing you want to
Yeah,
do is run to someone.
right.
So I just feel like both parties were going through really difficult things that I feel like
Yeah.
they had that what do you call that? That codependency that's
Mhm,
unhealthy
mhm.
with one another rather than healing separately and then
Yeah.
coming together as a healed full union. And I think that was the problem.
Yeah, and then, like, jumping into like, here's the thing about it.
Marriage doesn't fix anything.
Marriage doesn't mean that you're committed or
Mm-mm.
it honestly, when you break it down, like, marriage was a vessel for women to survive,
Yes.
right?
Back in the day, it was
Back in the
collateral.
day. Back in the day.
It was
Correct.
exchange.
So now, like, marriage is very different, and it's
Mhm.
women are filtering it through a different lens. It's like we want
Mhm.
partners that meet us in mutual, reciprocal love, honor, and respect. We want
Emotional.
commitment. We want people that can show up for us. Like we want
Mhm.
connection, and it
Mhm.
means something, and it's not like a
Mhm.
tool or a vessel for like survival for us. So when we want
No.
real partnership, you
We
have
want a
to
real connection.
right. So when you think about marriage now, and it's like
Mhm.
I think like there's some, and here's like our scouting report. I think,
Mhm.
this is it. The average U.S. marriage lasts 8 years.
Mhm. That's it?
8 years. Yeah. The average U.S. marriage lasts 8 years. And then
Wow.
60 to 67% of second marriages in the US end in divorce.
Mm.
And then 73% of third marriages end in divorce. So if you look at the like stats, right? If you look at
Mhm.
the institution of marriage, you're more likely to fail in marriage than you are to
Mhm.
succeed. So if you know these
Yeah.
things and you can, like, I always believe information is power. Like, the more you
100%.
know, the more
That
educated choice you can make,
Mhm.
right? And
That's
the
why
more
all my
informed
friends are in their
decisions.
70s and 80s. Girl, even
Yeah.
my besties are in their 70s. And I love to grab tea with them because I learned so much. They've lived.
You've learned so much. And I believe like lived experience and formal education, like they
Mhm.
matter. Like a person's lived experience matters because that is
Mhm.
information that is just wisdom and
It's
can
valuable.
valuable and help you in so many ways, right? So if you know the institution of marriage is more likely to fail than succeeds, like you
Mhm.
have to enter into it more carefully. And I
Mhm.
think I've read somewhere that they didn't have a prenup, which is a whole nother can of worms. That I feel like women
Oh
have this
gosh.
idea of like, why would you plan for something to fail before you even started? And it's like, well, you have life insurance. You don't plan to die today.
Did you hear about the whole issue with Giselle and Brady?
Girl, yeah.
Did you see
Now,
that? Did you see
I don't know if it's true, but I
I don't
did
know if
hear
it's
about
true.
a soccer player who did that. Like, okay, so here's what we're talking about.
Here's yeah, yeah.
So there was a soccer player, and now it's being reported
Tom
that Tom
Brady, the same
Brady
thing.
both transferred
Allegedly, we don't know.
allegedly, we don't know for
Mhm.
sure, but it's been
Mhm.
alleged that they transferred assets into a
Mhm.
trust or into their mother's names
Mhm.
before they got
Mhm.
divorced. That way they
Mhm.
wouldn't have to split those assets in the divorce
Mhm.
settlement. And
Yeah.
here is what is the truth, because I know my own legal situation. It's
Mhm.
like when you're married, like there's a new law that when you're married, you can transfer assets without your partner knowing into a trust. And if someone does that to you while you're married and you're on the
Mhm.
cusp of divorce,
Mhm.
your divorce settlement won't be what it was
Mm-mm.
before those assets were transferred into a trust.
And FYI, if you're trying to protect your assets, you wanna put it in a trust. It's
Right.
much safer than giving it to your mother or
Right.
whoever, an
Right.
individual.
I
FYI,
mean,
if you're trying to protect
because
something, do a trust.
forensic accountants and divorce lawyers,
Mhm.
if they're good, they will know to look for
Mhm.
that. Because if you
Mhm.
do that and they find out you've done that, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
But it's like the Wild West when you're getting divorced, and who you end up divorcing is not who you
Mary.
marry. And if it's messy, it's going to be really bad for you. So
Yeah.
it's best to handle all discussions about money and parenting and everything while you still
Mhm.
like each other, and
Mhm.
formalize it in
A
a
document.
contract, a prenup,
And if
because
it's true love, I'm sorry, honey, like, it shouldn't matter.
it
Like
shouldn't matter. It shouldn't, but it always does when you get
yeah,
divorced.
yeah.
And then people are always like, "Well, why would you plan for something to fail before it even starts?" You don't plan to die, but you have health insurance. You don't plan to
It
get sick, you have
yeah,
health insurance.
exactly.
You have life insurance.
Mhm.
You don't plan to like have an accident, but you have car insurance. So it's like you have all these insurances for other things, but you don't have insurance for an institution or a choice that is
Mhm.
more likely to fail than to succeed. That makes
Yeah.
no sense to me. Like
Mhm. Makes no
women,
sense.
you have to make a plan for yourself. That's
Women,
all.
I think well,
That's all.
okay, I won't say this because people are gonna come for me, but people in general, we have to stop being lazy when it comes to our financial health
Mhm.
and future. We really
Lazy,
have got to take
um,
I don't wanna say lazy, but we've gotta take a more active role. I just hear so many people who keep saying, well, I have no idea. My husband does this, or my wife does all the finances, or vice versa. It's like, no, you guys you got to take
You have
responsibility
to
on
advocate for yourself.
everything.
It's like
Yeah.
advocating for yourself in every
Aspect.
situation and aspect of your life, because I hear a lot of women say, like, I'm afraid to talk about it. Like, I'm afraid to address the issue.
Hmm.
I don't know how to talk about it. I don't have the words, which we can do a whole nother episode on that.
Hmm.
Because I hear
Hmm.
so many women that are afraid to bring it up.
Afraid to, yeah.
They're afraid. They don't know how to talk about it. They
Hmm.
feel as if they can't understand money
Hmm.
or all that stuff. And I'm like, yes,
No,
you
girl,
can.
you can
It's
figure
this.
it out.
If you can invest in a relationship, if you can deal with a man, you can deal with
Hmm.
money. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like you have to inform yourself. And whatever you feel most afraid of is what you should be going towards the most.
And on top of that, Ashley, and I think you work with women in this. So
Yes, I
if
do.
you need help with this, contact Ashley.
Contact
She's
me. I'm happy.
excellent in this.
Happy to work
Excellent.
with you anywhere
Yes.
because I love working with remote clients. They are
But
the best.
but Ashley, I'm sure this gives your clients, like, for me, the more you take an active role,
Mhm.
the more I feel you have a confidence. And
Mhm.
I think a lot of men or women would not stay if they had the knowledge and confidence to understand, especially just money,
Right.
especially if one partner has a stronger role in finances and takes care of that. I think that that partner kind of holds more of the weight, in my
Mhm.
opinion. We all have to eat. So I think that if both parties were to take an equal role, or maybe that one takes a role, but you have an understanding,
Right.
I think that is power as well.
Yeah.
And it gives you a more sense and grounding. So
Mhm.
I think that's important to know that too, because on another note, I want to tell you about, I went to Lowe's this weekend
Mhm.
and I was getting some glass cut. And as I was getting glass cut, I was talking with my friend, and we were just talking about like our dating lives, which is non-existent. And so it was a very quick conversation. But we're discussing that. And she was like, girl, do you ever want to get married? And I was like, honestly, it's not the first thing I think about. Like,
Mhm.
for me, if I found someone that I was like, this,
Mhm.
yes, but
Mhm.
it's not really something that's on my agenda or
Mhm.
on my wish list or on my board, or what they call it, vision board.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I said, for me, I feel like I just want someone who is a true partner. Let's have
Right.
fun, let's live. I don't need to do the legal part, because if things go south, not that I'm looking for an out, but I like knowing that it can be a clean cut
Clean break.
without
I
trying to stay for
I think
legal purposes.
it makes it more interesting, and I think it
Yeah,
makes the man.
like Goldie Hawn and
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Kurt
I
Russell.
love them.
Do you know what I mean? So when we were having this conversation, the guy that was cutting our glass stops and he walks over and he's like, I don't mean to pry. I was like, well, you are. And he was like, I just want to tell you that you guys are like wise beyond your years. He's like, same age as us. So I'm like cracking up. I was like, well, thank you, sir. And he's like, well, I'm going through like the worst time in my life. He goes, I'm getting a divorce. And he said she was the love of my life. And
Mm.
things just fell apart and I couldn't fix it. I couldn't make her happy. He goes, my chewing annoyed her, which it's so funny. We
Mm.
always
We
hear,
always say that, yeah.
and he goes, I couldn't make her happy. He goes, now I'm living with my grandmother, trying to get myself back, while she's telling me I'll never be anything. And we're going
Oh.
through this messy divorce, and she's taken half of what I own, and now I have to pay her alimony and all. I mean,
Oh.
he goes, and the truth is, even though she was the love of my life, he goes, I always knew. He goes, I always knew. But he
Hmm.
was like, I thought marriage would fix it. I thought that if I showed
Mm.
her I was truly committed, it would make her happy. But at the end of the day, this man truly loved this woman, but he couldn't make her happy. There was nothing he could do to make her happy. He didn't have the right career. He didn't have enough money. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. There was nothing he could do to make her happy, but he thought the marriage would. And
Mm.
now he's going through this messy divorce. He's lost even more. Now he has to pay alimony. He's trying to get himself back on his feet. And he's like, I just wish I had continued to date her. And then
Mm.
I would have known and we could have just gone our separate ways.
Oh, I hate that. It's so
And now there's
sad.
kids involved. So he's like, just date, have fun, date, be
Yeah.
committed. But
I agree.
want,
And that, I mean, I do want a partner. Like, I want
I want a
marriage,
partner for
but
sure.
not like, I want marriage in the sense of commitment and meaningful, like deeply
Yes,
connected relationship.
100%.
Like, I don't know if I'll ever make it legal.
Mhm.
Because I agree, like,
I'm fine with
knowing
not making it
that
legal.
I don't need you and you don't need me, but we're here because we are
That
choosing
is
each
so
other.
hot.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
that
like a turn on. It's like, oh,
it's
you are
amazing. I love
choosing
that.
to be here. Like, I'm not dependent on you.
Yes.
You're not dependent on me. Like, we are
We don't feel like
choosing each
we're
other
held
every day.
hostage because of a
Right. Like,
document.
exactly. Like, I feel like nobody gets comfortable in that situation. And we are
Which is good.
electing to be here,
Yes.
right? Every day.
Mhm.
And if it ever isn't that way, we can have the freedom to say, you know what, this doesn't really serve
Doesn't
me.
work
And it
here.
doesn't have to be messy and nasty and just like this dysfunctional period of your life, right? Until
Mhm.
you untether yourself from each other.
Yes, 100%. That's
Yeah.
why I say don't move in with someone, especially like right now. Like, nope, you stay, you stay. I'll
I was
stay
thinking
here.
about that too, because I'm
You
like
know,
opening to like really like living with, I'm like open into the idea of living with someone.
boys, I don't know. Like, they'd have to have their own bathroom. Like,
Yeah, they need their own
that's,
bathroom and their own closet.
yeah, yeah. I don't have room for
And
it.
I maybe not be here every single day, but maybe like 4
No,
days a week.
3
They
days.
travel for work. I'm putting it out there. I'm manifesting. They travel for work.
Yes,
They're home 3 or 4 days a week.
yes.
They have their own bathroom and their own closet.
I say that now, but when I'm in love, I'm like, "Where are you?" You know what I mean? So, you. I'm like a barnacle. I'm like, don't put me down ever. Now I'm talking shit. I'm like, no, stay at your house. And I'm like, where are you? Don't you love me? Come over.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
So funny.
hilarious. I know.
Mm.
I do. I kind of, this is kind of the
I
same
love
way.
love.
I love love too.
I love it.
I love having a person that like,
Me too.
you know what it is? I love feeling understood. And
Yes,
like somebody that like, cause I'm a little quirky, a little like
I am too.
weird, you know,
I am too.
it's just off a little bit. So I'm like, I love having somebody that like wants to be around this weirdness
Yes, yes. And gets it.
and
And
gets
when,
it.
you know what I mean? And likes my jokes. That's the main thing.
Likes my
Lucky
jokes,
me. I've dated guys that like my
thinks
jokes.
I'm hilarious, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
thinks I'm so
Mm-hmm.
like pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. My ex used to like, it was so funny. He'd like had this thing where he always had to like play with your hair and twiddle it. And I used to hate it. I'd be like, stop. And now, girl, I do anything. I'm like, just do it. Just twiddle it. Just twiddle it. Just do it. You know, because it's like comforting. It's nice to find your partner and those
Yeah,
things that like, you know, you might not appreciate at that moment, but like, but
right.
that's also, you get there by being alone. Like, I've been
Mhm.
single for 3 years.
Mhm.
I have really taken my time and able
Mhm.
to look at my past relationships, what worked, what didn't. So I guess that's also for me why I'm not rushing into anything, because I know exactly the type of person I need. And no
Right.
one's going to fit that mold perfectly,
Right.
of course, but I have a better understanding of myself and the kind of partner that's going to be best for who I am,
Right.
and especially where I am now too.
Right.
So that's why I think it's so important to take that time to really marinate and sit with yourself, get to know yourself, date yourself rather than to rush into something else.
Right.
Because now, when I'm ready or I meet that person, I know immediately this could be a great person, but it's not my person.
Right.
Or this person, oh, let me invest a little bit more time. So
Mhm.
now I'm able to invest properly so that hopefully I get a better return.
I love that. I love
Mhm,
that. But you know what? I have to say
mhm,
this, and this is my
mhm,
pettiness coming out.
mhm.
You know, back to JLo, because it just popped into my
Yes,
mind.
yes. Mhm.
You know who's somewhere laughing, eating a popcorn,
Who?
smoking a cigarette, like, mm-hmm.
Who?
I knew what you was getting. Jennifer Gardner, baby. Ben's ex-wife.
Yes. I love Jennifer Gardner. Oh, I
Jennifer
love
Gardner, she's
her.
my favorite. And
West Virginia girl.
you know she is somewhere like, mm-hmm. You
But
thought,
she's so classy and
but you
cute.
know
She
what?
doesn't say anything.
She's like me. She's
Yeah.
classy, she's cute,
She's
she's
like,
not
"Look,"
she's not spilling the tea on
right?
the internet.
She's just living her
She's
life,
living her life,
doing
right,
her
with her
thing.
chickens,
I'm not gonna
and
badmouth anyone.
she's not bad mouthing anybody, but you
Mm-mm.
know when they were like Ben and Jen were getting back together and they were getting married and they were all on that boat and Body and the love
Yeah.
of my life and this
She's
and
like,
that,
"You
and
don't
she's
know,
like,
girl."
baby, you don't even know what you're getting yourself into, and we will see. Let's watch the show play out. And she is somewhere like,
She's like, "Yep." She bakes and stuff. She's baking some cakes and just eating them. She's
baby, she
enjoying it.
is having her tea and her pie, and she is like, told ya,
I
I
told you.
saw this coming.
Mhm.
So, like,
Mile
and that's
away.
another thing for women. Like, don't be mad if your man leaves or you don't work out and he goes and
Mm-mm.
it seems as if he is
He's moved
frolicking
on.
around with somebody else and they're so happy. Because the truth is, you never know what people are going through, and do
Mm-mm.
not like look at that and think,
No.
oh, he couldn't give that to me, and oh,
Mm-mm.
they're so happy, and oh, do not ever like filter yourself through anyone's relationship, because one, it's not going to serve you, but two, you never know how
Mm-mm.
miserable they really are,
Yeah,
and what you could be calling into your life. So
exactly.
if you are in like as we enter into the segment of our show that is our in-game adjustments, like if
Mhm.
you are in a situation where your relationship didn't work out and your ex is like frolicking around and as making
Mhm.
making it appear that they're
He's
so
so happy.
happy, don't pay it any attention. Don't
Don't
give it any energy.
at all.
Take your time to heal yourself, process
Mhm.
what happened in your life, and clear out
Mhm.
all of the, learn the lesson, so that when you move on, you attract from a healed place and not an abandoned place, right?
Exactly.
And if, so that one, you don't allow anybody to spin the block on you,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
two, you just welcome in everything that you deserve and desire, and from a clear, conscious, learn
Mhm.
my lesson,
Yeah.
moving on energy.
Mhm. 100%.
Mhm.
100%. It's gonna serve you better.
It's gonna serve you better. And take
Mhm.
some time. Like, make sure you have cultivate
Yeah.
good relationships with your girlfriends, with your family. Make
Yes.
sure form your board of directors with people that you
Mhm.
trust to
Mhm.
solicit their opinions, and
Mhm.
know that they are going to love you and support you, and
Mhm.
give you feedback that is healthy and
Mhm.
in your best interest. Like, really
Mhm.
focus on you and take the time that you need to
Yes.
really elevate yourself, because you
Yes.
will attract something great from that place.
So well said. So well said.
Thank
And
you.
remember, always work on your time.
Hmm.
Like, don't worry about, oh, I'm this age. I've got to find someone.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, when you rush, I've said this before on the show. When you go looking for stuff, go looking under rocks. That's when you find roly polies and snakes, right? We don't want any
Yes.
worms.
No.
No. So
Mm-mm.
take your time. Take
Yep.
your time. They will come. They
They
will
will
come.
come. They will
Especially
come.
if that's truly what your heart desires. I really, truly feel you will find it.
Yep. Yep.
But
What?
just be willing to take the ultimate sacrifice, which is to take the time and to
Right.
focus on yourself.
Yeah, I heard this really good quote the other day,
Mhm,
and I want to share it and we'll wrap it
mhm,
up.
mhm.
What you desire desires you. So just
Oh, I love
wait
that.
until you meet each other, right?
Yes,
What you desire desires you, and just be
yes,
in that energy and in that knowing, and it will come.
100%.
100%. All right.
So well said. I
This has
agree.
been another episode of the Bachelor Breakdown. We will see you next month, and in the meantime, be
Be
you,
you,
do
love
you. We
you,
love
and do you.
you. Bye.